October 2025 turned out to be one of the busiest and most transformative months for Microsoft in recent years. And if you've been following the evolution of Windows closely, you already know why. The era of Windows 10 has officially ended, marking the beginning of a new chapter dominated by Windows 11. With mainstream support for Windows 10 now gone, millions of users are making the switch. And Microsoft is determined to make that transition worth it by continuously improving Windows 11 through updates that add functionality, polish, and a better user experience. So today, let's dive deep into 5 cool and genuinely useful changes Microsoft added to Windows 11 during October 2025, which not only make your daily computing smoother, but also address years of user feedback that the community has been begging Microsoft to fix. Starting with number 1. The taskbar and start menu. These two have arguably been the most controversial parts of Windows 11 since its launch. But after 4 long years of frustration, Microsoft has finally listened. The redesigned start menu now features a cleaner single-page layout, smarter spacing, and the long requested option to remove the recommended section entirely. That means more control, more customization, and fewer distractions. The rollout is happening gradually, but you can enable it manually if it hasn't reached your system yet. And that's not all. Multi-monitor users will finally rejoice because the taskbar now allows you to open the notification center from any display, fixing one of the most annoying restrictions from earlier versions. The calendar flyout has also been refined with a larger, clearer clock display, and both the system tray and lock screen now feature improved battery indicators, offering a more readable and modern design that finally feels consistent with the rest of Windows 11's sleek interface. Moving on to number 2, dark mode. Something users have been begging Microsoft to take seriously for years, and it's finally happening. The October 2025 updates expand dark mode support to more classic elements of the Windows interface, such as File Explorer's Properties dialog, the Run box, and Copy/Move Progress dialogues. These might sound like small touches, but together, they make Windows look and feel far more cohesive, especially for users who prefer the dark aesthetic late at night. Even better, Microsoft has integrated automatic theme switching through PowerToys version 0.95, introducing a new feature called Light Switch that lets you toggle between light and dark modes based on a schedule or keyboard shortcut. This new addition essentially brings macOS-like theme automation to Windows, and PowerToys even gained a productivity tool borrowed straight from Apple's ecosystem, proving that Microsoft isn't afraid to take inspiration when it benefits users. Now, let's talk about number 3, Windows Update, which has finally been made simpler and smarter. One of the biggest complaints from average users was that Windows updates were confusing, with long, cryptic names and unexpected restarts. Microsoft has tackled this by introducing simplified update naming, replacing long technical labels with clear titles like Security Update, Preview Update, or Driver Update. This new naming system makes it much easier to understand what kind of update you're installing. In addition, Microsoft has fixed the frustrating error 0x800F0983 that many users face during updates, and they've also made one subtle but highly satisfying improvement. When you click Update and Shutdown, your system now actually shuts down instead of secretly restarting itself afterward. Yes, that long-standing annoyance is finally gone. These updates may sound small, but they add up to a much smoother and less stressful Windows experience overall, especially for non-technical users. Coming up at number 4 is a change that affects everyone who installs Windows 11 from scratch, the initial system setup, or OOBE out-of-box experience. Microsoft has finally added the ability to set a custom user folder name during setup, a feature users have wanted for years. Normally, if you sign in with a Microsoft account during setup, your default user folder gets named after the first 5 letters of your email, which looks awkward and messy. Now, you can choose your own name, bringing more personalization and tidiness to your system. The catch? It's still a bit tricky to use, as the process currently requires entering a few commands in the command prompt during setup. Not exactly user-friendly for everyone. Hopefully, Microsoft will streamline this in a future release. However, this improvement shows that the company is finally paying attention to the little details that define a polished operating system. On the flip side, Microsoft's ongoing push to enforce online setup and Microsoft accounts continues to spark frustration among users who prefer local accounts. The latest Windows 11 builds have made it even harder to complete setup offline, but tech-savvy users can still find workarounds, and guides are already circulating online. These changes are currently in preview, so we'll likely see them evolve in the coming months. Finally, let's talk about the most talked about Windows 11 feature of all, Copilot, Microsoft's AI-powered assistant that's been steadily gaining new abilities. In the October 2025 update, Copilot got smarter and more integrated than ever before. It can now access deeper system settings, meaning you can ask it to adjust your brightness, toggle Bluetooth, or even manage your display settings directly through natural commands. For example, saying, "Hey Copilot, my screen is too dim," will prompt it to guide you to brightness controls instantly. And yes, you can now invoke Copilot hands-free using the Hey Copilot voice command, making multitasking smoother and faster. Even more impressively, Copilot can now interact with local files, letting you perform quick actions or find specific documents while you're busy doing something else. These updates make Copilot feel like a true digital assistant rather than a glorified search bar, signaling Microsoft's clear intention to make AI a core part of the Windows experience moving forward. Of course, while these features are exciting, not everything is perfect. Some of them, especially the Start menu redesign and OOBE changes, are still rolling out gradually or hidden behind optional updates, meaning you might need to enable them manually or wait for your system to receive them automatically. Still, it's clear that Microsoft is finally listening to user feedback and addressing some of the most long-standing complaints about Windows 11's design, usability, and functionality. From a more coherent dark mode and simpler updates to smarter AI integration and better personalization, October 2025 proved that Windows 11 is maturing into a truly refined OS that blends modern design with user control. If you've been holding off upgrading from Windows 10, now might be the perfect time to consider it, especially since official support for Windows 10 has ended, and Windows 11's latest updates have made it far more stable and versatile than it was at launch. Microsoft's vision for Windows is clearly moving toward a more connected, AI-driven, and visually consistent future, and these new changes lay a strong foundation for that evolution. So our recommendation? If your PC supports it, upgrade to Windows 11 and explore these new features yourself. Just make sure your updates are current and that you're familiar with the new layout. Once you adjust, you'll likely find that the improvements genuinely enhance your productivity and comfort. And if you love staying up to date with the latest tech news, features, and insider updates from the world of Microsoft, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because at TechVerse, we break down the latest innovations and updates in the simplest, most engaging way possible. So, what do you think of the new Windows 11 features from October 2025? Are they enough to win your trust back after years of complaints? Or are you still waiting for more improvements? Share your thoughts in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching. This is TechVerse, your trusted source for everything technology, where we turn updates into understanding and tech into talk.